In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about falling down the illustration rabbit hole, getting supernatural vibes, having a Swiss Army Mermaid bestie, making friends with the monster, and getting distracted looking through our own monster books in our discussion of Brick, Dust, and Bones by M.R. Fournet. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult, and sometimes other books, series, authors, voice actors, and illustrators that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss Brick, Dust and Bones by M.R. Fournet.
Standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read or listened and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read or listen to the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just like the show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
Yay!
Yay! Yay!
I'm excited to talk about this one, so let's delve into the background information straight away.
Yes. Well, I have bad news.
Oh no.
I didn't get too far on the background info because M.R. Fournet is also an illustrator, and she has illustration videos featuring the terrifying creatures at the back. Like if you have the book or the ebook, like you can see the descriptions of the characters or the monsters in this book, and she drew all of the things, and she has like step-by-step videos of her drawing them, and I stared at them. I stared at them for a long time. So go to her website and Instagram and watch her draw these things. It's mesmerizing.
It's gonna hold them up for our Patreon viewers.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
It's M.R. Fournet, MRFOURNET.com. And on Instagram, she's at MR_Fournet. So after that, I thought, no, Amanda, you have to try a little bit harder. Stop watching these videos and find something. So I read a blog post on literaryrambles.com, and here's a piece from that. My rejection count is easily in the triple digits if you count agents and editors. I've heard varying degrees of nope for years. Some unreasonably cruel, but most professional. It's a hazard of the job. How did I keep going? Well, and this is why I chose this. I'm a bulldog with football skin. What? Every time I get knocked down, I stand back up and go again. Then she describes what that actually means. The thick skin came from art school. We'd work on a piece for weeks or months. Then we'd tack them up on the wall for judgment. Taking something you made and putting it on display for everyone to see is terrifying. What you're really doing is holding it up for everyone to tear down. It's the same thing with any creative endeavor, including writing. So I just liked that, and then I went back and watched her videos some more, so good artist.
And
I'm not tearing it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, why we're not doing any more episodes for the rest of the month. We're too busy watching the videos.
Yep, sorry.
It's always fun falling down those rabbit holes.
It really is. And they're so good, and they're so creepy, and they're delicious, and like, if I could buy them and hang them on the wall in my house, I would.
Oh, she should.
She should. Maybe she does. Maybe I should pause the episode and go investigate her website some more.
Yeah, let's do that.
No. Don't do it. We'll never come back. So moving over to initial thoughts, this book was so fun. I think everyone knows that I love horror, right? I love horror. I love gruesome. I love dark. I love demonic. I love all of these things. But there's just something about middle grade horror.
I think it's scarier sometimes.
It's like, yeah,
because it's the nightmares children have, and the nightmares you had as a child They stay with you.
Yeah, the nightmares I have now are just toilet nightmares or my teeth falling out and I have to put them back in.
Or doing, like, having the worst ones when you've done your entire shift at work and then you wake up and realise it's still Monday, it's just Monday morning, and you're like, oh my God,
Yep.
It's like you're putting in a double shift.
Yes. Yeah. Or the ones where you're back in high school for some reason.
Oh,
And
no.
you have to take a test, but like your pencil doesn't work.
Oh.
That's horrible.
Oh, I mean, you've got the phone rings, you've got to answer it.
Ugh. Yeah. All these grown-up things. It's horrible. Give me
It's
back
a horrible
nope,
ringtone as
don't say
well.
it. I almost said give me back, the monsters under the bed or the shadows in the corner, but then no, that's night terror.
No,
That's night terror
that-
territory.
And also, you're heading straight into the would you rather territory
You're
as
right.
well. That's a
You're
bit
right.
too much of a jump.
You're right. Okay. Let's just have the summary of the book. Do you have initial thoughts before I just completely skip over everything?
I really enjoyed it. I found it on Libra.fm, I think, was the first time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think, I think we were having a conversation. I was like, oh, I found this one, looks really cute. And then I found it on Hoopla, and then talking to superfan Katrina, she found it as well. I'm like, already on the radar.
Yep.
And then looked a little bit closer, and was like, it's got necromancy, so it fits in perfectly
It's
with this month's
perfect.
book challenge of Necromancy Month. And then I read it for the podcast, freaking loved it.
Yes.
I was like, I need my child to read this. He doesn't have the attention span for audiobooks. He's still a bit too young for that. So I bought the book, which is why it's behind me, and he read it in a night. And I think he's on his third read through of
Nice.
it. He absolutely loved it. I wasn't
That's
sure
amazing.
if the horror was going to be a bit too horror, but no, he's come to the dark side. He loves creepy shit like his mum.
It's amazing.
So yeah, and now it's officially on the Eastor family book club list. He
Perfection.
started a book club at home where we have to read either graphic novel or book, and then we'll sit down and we have a beverage of our choice and some cake or biscuit, and we talk about the books. And
It's
the
precious.
beautiful thing is the discussion questions are already in the back of the book as well. So there's my
Yes.
job easier.
Yeah, that is I
I
do
loved it.
not have a
Absolutely
copy
loved
of
it.
this book, but I do have a monster back here.
No, and I appreciate that one as well. There is another one coming out called Darkness and Demon Song.
Yeah, it came out last summer, I think.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I
So
think it
I'm-
came
I'm
out last summer.
excited. I'm very excited.
Okay, well, should we get into it? Should we summarize this book?
Yes.
All right. Marius Gray, 12-year-old monster hunter, is hiding inside Violet Humphrey's closet with only his book and the disembodied voice of his deceased mother chattering away at him about monsters tormenting houses with terrible electricians. And you already know that you love it. Marius shushes his mother and waits in silence. Finally, black tendrils reach out from under Violet's bed, and eventually the boogeyman appears, wearing a long, wispy coat of shadows. Marius can't see the boogeyman's eyes under his top hat, only his ghoulish grin and pointed nose stand out.
The boogeyman calls out to the terrified Violet, telling the little girl to look into his eyes. Marius steps out of the closet, book in hand, open to the next blank page. The boogeyman turns to Marius, spitting his name and lunging at him. Marius throws brick dust at the monster, and Violet runs to Marius. He hands her the book, pulls a silver flask of salt from his pocket, and makes a circle, ordering Violet to stay inside. The boogeyman tries to get to Violet, but can't while she is inside the circle. Marius takes his book back and recites the spell. Grab the arm, grab the crook, stomp the ground until it's shook. Invisible line, invisible hook, get the monster inside this book. With a wail, the boogeyman is sucked inside and appears on the once blank page. So supernatural, I love it.
It really is. I love it. I love the getting inside the circle of salt. And like you just think, okay, what stupid thing is she going to do? Why is she going to get out of the circle of salt? Why don't they ever listen? Stay inside the circle.
But She listens.
She did. I know. I was expecting it to be bad, but no.
So
she.
No, because it's a kid, not an adult.
You're right. Kids are smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. The encounter was not silent, and Violet's parents can be heard coming to her room. Violet dives for her bed. Marius covers the salt circle with a rug, then sock slides to the corner behind the door. Throwing her dad under the bus and knowingly giving up future treats, Violet says she had a bad dream caused by Daddy giving her a Coke before bed. Top-notch deflection. Violet promises to go straight to sleep as her parents leave the room. Violet checks with Marius that the monster is really gone, and he assures her that the boogeyman won't bother her again.
Marius heads to the I could never say this because it's got to do with the accent. I just want to call it the haberdashery.
I know that. Okay, can we talk about that for just a second? I didn't look at the ebook. I only listened to the audiobook, and so I just thought that the poor voice actor narrating this book was just butchering haberdashery. And just like every time I cringed. But then I looked at the ebook and I was like, oh no, that's the name of the place. It's haberdashery, not just violently mispronounced.
Oh, well, I was thankfully looking at the ebook at the same time as listening because of doing the summary. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's like haberdashery. And the real emphasis on the cherie. It's very fun. Well, anyway, Marius heads there to cash in on the boogeyman. It's a building with no windows and no doors, at least not for the people on the outside world, and the sign is spray painted on. Against his disembodied mother's request to go inside somewhere else, Marius pulls a brick and a door opens. Inside is a collection of curiosities, sacred stones, blades, magical roots, herbs and cobwebs, and both me and Amanda desperately want to go on a shopping spree here.
Yes.
This is the real deal, and it is not a tourist trap. Madame Boudreau, the ancient proprietor, stares him down with one good eye. You don't get on Madame Boudreau's bad side, and Marius should know. He coughed up feathers for a month after she turned him into a chicken. Marius very politely asks to speak to Papa Harold, a 6'7" teddy bear of man who will give him payment for catching the boogeyman.
Papa Harold pulls out his mystic scales and places Marius's hunter's book on the scale. The scales calculate the monster's worth in mystic credit, which isn't for food or other basic things, but for spells, favors, and magical ingredients. Marius's boogeyman is worth only 10 mystic coins. This upsets Marius, but he refuses to show how upset he is. Papa Harold points out that Marius doesn't have to be a monster hunter to survive. He's a cemetery boy and gets a stipend from the High Mystics. It's not enough for Marius, but Marius won't say why he needs the mystic coins. Papa Harold reminds Marius he sent him after a mermaid 6 months ago, which should fetch a fair price. But Marius says he couldn't find it. Papa Harold tells Marius to grab a bowl of gumbo before he goes. Yes, please. Thank you. I will take a giant bowl to go.
We'll take 2. Marius returns home to Greystone Cemetery near the town of Lafitte. It's been in his family, who are the ghost's caretakers for generations. When Marius's father disappeared and his mother died, the duties of ghost keeping fell to him. Marius doesn't want to walk through the mausoleums and tombs to his home and bed because he misses his mother really badly right now, even though her disembodied voice is still chattering away at him. His mother died almost 2 years ago when he was 10, and his father disappeared a year before her death. All they left him was his book of monsters, a raven skull necklace, and an enchanted coat. Walking toward the bayou, Marius grabs a fish he caught earlier, throws it into a little boat, climbs in, pushes a way off, and sprinkles a circle of jasmine before throwing fresh fish guts in. Now he waits.
After only a few minutes, a mermaid pops up out of the water. Her name is Rhiannon, and she is precious. Anyone would think this was just a regular old 13-year-old girl, but mermaids age differently, so Rhea could be any age, and she might have a sweet face, but she's probably gonna rip yours off. Her hobbies include luring sailors to their deaths, murder, music, and eating her victims. This is the mermaid Papa Harold told Marius about, but instead of capturing her monstrous soul to sell, Marius and Rhea became friends. Rhea offers to sing Marius to sleep as he settles down in his boat, still reluctant to go home as his mom's disembodied voice is so much louder there.
Marius wakes up about 10 the following morning, meaning he's late for school. Madame Millette is a fringe priestess, and, well, she's going to kill him for being late. Unfortunately, Mildred, aptly named, Madame Millette's eldest daughter, opens the door to Marius, and she is her typical brattish bullying self until her mother calls them into the classroom. Honestly, Mildred, horrible. Hate her.
The worst.
She is. Madame Millette runs a hybrid school for normal kids, magical kids, and children like Marius who are in the fringes of both. While Madame Millette continues her lesson on creatures that can possess humans and how to get rid of them, wish we'd covered that in school, Marius's mind wanders to all the items he needs to restock and how he's going to get more mystic coins.
Later, Mrs. Pine, a normal person, comes in to teach math class. Oh, goody. Math. Marius has time for more mind wandering and a little nap. Mrs. Pine doesn't appreciate Marius falling asleep in her class, nor does she appreciate Marius pushing her buttons to get sent home. Madame Millette comes in, sees the adult and child pretty much squaring off, and asks to speak to them in private. Mrs. Pine goes into Madame Millette's office first, Marius listening in at the door. Mrs. Pine is having a breakdown about magic and Marius being disrespectful. When Madame Millette reminds her Marius is just a kid who lost his parents, Marius feels like he's been hit in the gut. Is this how he's seen? Madame Millette's youngest kids, twins Mina and Marcel, come running up to Marius, dance and sing around him, outing him to Madame Millette for listening at the door.
Marius follows Madame Millette into her office, a room that has a mix of the expected normal mystical paraphernalia and actual magical items. But her real magic storeroom is hidden behind a curtain, and no one is allowed there. Madame Millette tries to bolster Marius and offers to find help with the cemetery, but he declines. And then she asks if he is monster hunting. Part of Marius wants to share that he is, but he doesn't. He lies.
Marius goes back to Greystone Cemetery and heads straight to the family tomb of Gray and Stone, the mausoleum home he shared with his mother and father. It's like any regular small house with all the essential cozy mess of home, only it has 4 rectangular grave markers on the back wall. The disembodied voice of Marius's mother reminisces about his father's love of reading, but Marius is like his mom and is only interested in one book, his monster book. Marius again asks his mom if his dad is dead, and again his mom doesn't really answer him. Sigh. Marius grabs his gardening tools and heads out to tend to the cemetery. However, Hugo, an orphan ghost, has other plans and wants to play and talk, as clearly Marius is his hero. As the sun goes down, Marius leaves for Mama Rue's Cajun kitchen. And yes, I will take several items to go, please. Thank you.
This book made me hungry,
yes,
honestly, all
same.
the way through. Mama Rue's Cajun kitchen caters to the living and the dead and has dining rooms for each, but Mama Rue is fine with some intermingling. Marius holds the door open for several ghosts to enter before following them in. As Marius is shoving fried shrimp into his mouth, he spots Rex, a nasty crossroad demon, who's being approached by a frightening-looking woman with a wad of money, which the demon rejects. When Marius mentions she should pay with mystic coins, Mama Rue asks Marius if he has any, and he gives her a big fat lie. No, only the leftover ones from his mom.
Lies. Lies.
Mama Roo bluntly asks Marius if he's monster hunting, and again he lies, like a big fat liar, saying his nose is clean.
Nope.
He hates lying to Mama Roo, but he will eat her shrimp.
He will, 100%. Yes. Marius heads to Haberdashery for a new monster hunting job, a bigger one from Papa Harold. Reluctantly, Papa Harold offers him a rougarou, and Amanda goes, "Eee, a rougarou!" But Marius isn't looking to take on something that big, so they settle on a candy lady instead. Papa Harold transfers the bounty to Marius's book with a warning that candy ladies are tougher than they sound.
As a cemetery boy, Marius can travel by grave hopping, which is useful since, he legally can't drive. Today, Marius needs to go to the French Quarter of New Orleans for supplies to catch the candy lady, which means hopping to St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. His mom's disembodied voice tells him not to because it's dirty, but he does it anyway. As he's collecting some holy water and dunking his rosaries at the St. Louis Cathedral, Marius is spotted by Duncan, a young, cowardly priest that Marius once saved from some baby gargoyles. With his holy water and rosaries, Marius is almost ready to face the candy lady, but he has one more stop to make first.
I really want more details on the gargoyle story.
I think they were just baby gargoyles having fun as well, and he was just a coward, and, he's an ally now.
But, are there more gargoyles? Are we going to become half gargoyle and fall in love with a demon? White hot kiss? White hot kiss, anyone?
Let's never say no. Don't rule anything out.
Marius heads to Papa Renard's store. For the cost of some brick dust and the mystic coin he earned for catching the boogeyman, he purchases a dozen chicken feet, black salt, ground honeycomb, and some cat's claw bark, the makings of a tracking spell. With a handshake, the barter is agreed, and Papa Renard takes the jars and coin as his son Antoine, a schoolmate of Marius's, comes out. Marius and Antoine have a deal. Antoine will get a spell for Marius to use to resurrect his mom, and Marius won't tell Antoine's parents about the Thunderbird egg Antoine is trying to hatch. Reluctantly, Antoine hands over the spell, warning Marius it needs to be done within 2 years of the person's death, and that resurrected people don't always come back right. Angry and frustrated, Marius tells Antoine he knows that. Ugh.
Duh. Mixing the tracking ingredients together, Marius heads into the neighbourhood Papa Renard mentioned to him while they made the deal, tossing pinches of dust to magically locate the correct area. Eventually the tracking powder glows brightly down one particular street. Marius's mom's disembodied voice tells him to check the windows for sweets and bushes for calcium and sugar deposits, because a candy lady will leave sweets in the windows for the children to take, unknowingly granting the candy lady permission to enter their rooms during the night to steal their teeth. No, this is not based on Amanda, everybody. I know exactly what you're thinking. This is not based on Amanda.
It's so good.
Marius starts to locate piles of sweets, which he takes so the children inside don't, until he gets to one house where the pile is gone and the window has been disturbed. The boy inside sucking on a peppermint stick. Marius finds a hiding spot in a nearby thick bush, makes himself comfortable to wait till the candy lady arrives. He doesn't mean to fall asleep.
Marius jolts awake and scrambles from the bushes, noticing the boy's window is open. Inside the bedroom, he can see the candy lady standing over the boy, peeling her skin off, revealing green, swampy flesh beneath. She's not a candy lady. She's a boo hag.
Okay, so it might actually be Amanda. It might. This might actually be based on Amanda. Okay.
That makes me so happy. The boy screams, but there is no sound. The boo hag locks her mouth onto the boy and starts to suck the life out of him, her chest filling with its glow. Marius uses this opportunity to get inside the bedroom and draw a salt circle around himself. However, the boo hag is not low level. Marius throws dust in her face to break her connection, opens his monster book, and starts the spell to trap it. The boo hag reaches down and hits the ground. The ripples tear into the salt circle, leaving Marius exposed. The boo hag grabs Marius by the neck, pulls him away from the salt, and scratches his hand. Marius is able to fight her off before pulling at his shirt to reveal his mother's raven skull necklace, which scares the boo hag. This gives Marius the opening he needs to grab his book and read the trapping spell. The boo hag continues to claw and scramble on the floor as she is sucked into the monster book.
The little boy, Henry, starts to cry, which is like 100% understandable considering the literal monster that was in his room. Marius is able to calm him down, though he's left with a sour feeling, as it doesn't seem that Henry has a happy or potentially safe home life, so he leaves him one of the freshly blessed rosaries and a worry bead bracelet. All the while, the boo hag in his book has been fighting to get out, and one of her claws leaks out when he's outside. The slash wound on Marius's hand is hurting him terribly and stopping him from binding the boo hag properly. Is there something inside the wound, perhaps? He needs help. Thankfully, the Mississippi River is near.
Marius walks into the water and sprinkles jasmine from one of his many pockets of his coat, hoping it's enough to call Rhea. As he waits, he calls to his mother's disembodied voice, but doesn't get an answer. Thankfully, he doesn't have to wait long for Rhea to come. She's been following him and his delicious grave dirt and fish smell. Marius explains he fought a boo hag who clawed him, and the monster is fighting to get out of the book. Rhea looks at the wound, sees a creature inside. Rhea opens her double creepy mermaid mouth and inserts her tongue inside the wound. The disembodied voice of Marius's mom screams that Rhea's gonna eat him! But boo hags leave a piece of themselves inside the wounds of their victims, and Rhea is fishing around for this eel-like creature, which she finds and happily munches down on. Noticeably, the monster book is no longer fighting Marius since Rhea extracted and ate the eel. Rhea then cuts a lock of her hair and winds it around the wound. Instantly, it feels better and stops bleeding. Marius wants to cash in on the boo hag straight away in case it tries to escape again, so he arranges to meet Rhea back at the graveyard dock. When they part, he gives her a newly blessed rosary bought especially for her with mystic coins. It's beautiful with fish detailing and should keep her off hunters' radars, as long as she doesn't eat anybody.
Don't eat people.
Don't eat people.
I think that's a PSA we've given already.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, after some clumsy grave hopping, Marius finally reaches the haberdashery. He heads straight to Papa Harold and explains it wasn't a candy lady he sent him to find, but a boo hag in a candy lady skin. Papa Harold is shocked. All his scrying said it was a candy lady. With his apologies, Papa Harold weighs Marius's book and he receives 100 mystic coins for the boo hag. Damn. Papa Harold offers the Rougarou job again, since Marius has proven he can handle bigger and more dangerous monsters, but Marius declines. He leaves with his mystic coins and 2 large servings of jambalaya.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Oh, gosh,
delicious. Yes. Oh my god. So hungry. 2 days later, Marius is back at Madame Millet's school, pretty much on time. If the big bully Mildred would just get out of his way and not use her magic on him to make him tired. Marius has very potent dust, made from his very own graveyard dust and dirt, which counteracts Mildred's stupid spell. As they're sitting down to a history lesson where magical and normal history intersect, Mrs. Pine bustles in, disheveled and upset. As Madame Millet ushers her into the office, Marius hears a few curious things, especially the word doctor.
Marius spends the next week going to school, tending his graveyard, chatting with Hugo and Rhea, sleeping in the boat, and feels infinitely better for it. Everybody needs some chill time.
Yes.
Everybody should take some chill time.
Yes, take a vacation.
Exactly. One day he heads to Mama Rue's Cajun chicken kitchen. One day he heads to Mama Rue's Cajun kitchen. But I do want some Cajun chicken. I'm so goddamn hungry reading this book. Honestly, it's just, you can smell it and you want to taste it and you want the spices.
It's so good.
Oh. Anywho, he goes with the ghosts. Must point out that the ghosts are served fake food to play with, like
I love it.
Food and wooden food.
Just
and
toy.
stuff.
It's just toy food, and I love it so much.
It's cute as all heck. Just toy food. It's so cute. Anywho. As he's watching the other patrons, he spies the crossword demon Rex in the corner, eyeing an anxious woman outside. Marius realises the woman is the same person who tried to pay her debt with a wad of cash, and it is in fact Mrs. Pine. Mama Rue explains she sold her soul to save her sick child. Marius becomes angry and stomps over to Rex, his mother's disembodied voice warning him against approaching the demon, saying that she once spoke to a different one once. But Marius has his mind set. He reaches into his pocket and pulls the 100 mystic coin from it, asking Rex if it will pay off Mrs. Pine's debt. Rex's eyes light up and he confirms that it will. Marius returns to his food, and when Mrs. Pine finally comes inside the restaurant to confront Rex, Mama Rue tells her some questions are best left unasked. However, Mama Rue does ask what business Marius has been up to get that kind of coin.
Later, Marius is recounting what happened to Rhea. Rhea doesn't understand why Marius helped a person he doesn't even like, since it put him back in his savings significantly. As a side note here, mermaids either love someone or eat someone. There are no other questions. That's it.
Sensible.
The only thing Marius can do now is go after the Rougarou, because it would give him the mystic coins he needs to get his mother back in one go. Rhea offers to help find the Rougarou. A Fifolet clan she knows could lead him, but they'll need to offer them a present of virgin water. The only place Marius can get that from is Madame Millet's very difficult to get into locked storeroom. Together, they hatch a plan for Marius to break in during the day using a mermaid barb Rhea produces from her wrist to open the door, while Hugo, a very special type of ghost that can come out during the day, will run interference.
Is Rhea a mermaid's like Swiss Army knives?
Yes.
Of the cryptid world?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because she just does this and a bone comes out. And she's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, sorry, you needed healing. Snip, there's some hair.
Here you go.
Oh, what's that? Like a weird eel creature burrowing under your skin. 2 seconds. Seriously, what can a mermaid not do? Walk on land. And
they cannot walk on land.
That's... I can serenade you and kill you and eat you.
Yeah.
Would you rather serenade, kill and eat, or walk on land?
Serenade, kill, eat, have double mouths, be terrifying, create skeleton keys from your own bones, heal yourself and others with your own hair.
And that's just what we know she can do.
Yep, she's amazing.
The next day, Marius ditches school. Instead of going to visit Papa Harold at the haberdashery for the Rougarou bounty, Papa Harold takes the bounty and adds it to Marius's book, telling him the Rougarou has been spotted in a swamp near his graveyard. It is, however, a big swamp. On Saturday, Marius and Hugo head to Madame Millet's. When Marius says beignets, Hugo will make with the poltergeisting. Unfortunately, Mildred opens the door and she reluctantly calls for her mama. In Madame Millet's office, Marius talks to her about Mrs. Pine and mentions bringing beignets in as a treat, making Hugo start his distraction perfectly, and Madame Millet's twins seem to unwittingly assist in the chaos. My theory is the twins don't need Hugo's help to cause the chaos. As Madame Malette chases the ghost down with salt, Marius pulls out Ria's barb and unlocks Madame Malette's storeroom. Of course, there's also a magical lock, which he is able to dispel with sage smoke. Inside is a treasure trove of the haberdashery could only hope to have, including a set of monster book scales. That's interesting. Grabbing the virgin water, Marius leaves and runs right into his nemesis, Mildred.
No. Mildred shouts that she caught him stealing and says, "Vengeful fairy, blood and bone, expel this criminal from our home," thrusting Marius to the yard. Gleefully, Mildred tells him she's going to tell her maman, and he'll never be allowed back into her home. Marius begs her not to, saying he'll just leave. Curious, Mildred wants to know what he wanted the virgin water for. Can't be poltergeists or boogeymen. Marius admits it's for a rougarou, which she doesn't believe. But she does believe him when Marius says it's to be able to bring his mother back. Mildred wanted to try and bring her dad back, but her maman told her no. She doesn't want to be the person to say no to Marius, so she hands over the virgin water. It seems they have a very delicate truce and a little better understanding of each other. I still don't like her.
Oh God, no. Ugh. Just because you can understand the person doesn't mean you have to like the person.
Ugh.
Marius and Ria head to find the Fifilets. Ria is not hungry. What? Ria's always hungry.
She's always hungry.
She doesn't like not feeling hungry. What is this? Is it fear? Oh, emotions. The mermaid asks her human why he's doing this, and Marius explains that his mom made a deal with a crossroad demon 2 years ago, giving her soul for it to find his missing dad. The demon reneged on the contract, saying his father was unfindable. Since the demon didn't hold on to its side of the bargain, his mom backed out too. However, the demon found a loophole and made his mom crash her car. She died. It got her soul, and now she is in hell where she can't be a ghost and he needs to free her. Eventually they get to the outcropping of stones where the Fifilet clan lives.
At Ria's instruction, Marius puts the virgin water on the rocks and asks them for help to find the rougarou. After a while, tiny green bubbles of lights appear and dance around the water. Suddenly, Ria grabs Marius and kisses him. Marius's mind goes foggy and he forgets everything. There's no pain, no plans, no history, just a world of water. Marius's mom's disembodied voice calls to him, pulling him from the void. When Marius comes back to himself, he demands to know, "What the heck, Ria?" The mermaid is visibly upset. She has hoped at every stage Marius would fail because she doesn't want to lose her friend. Upset, Ria swims off.
The Fifilet didn't disappear during the exchange, but seemed to wait patiently. When he's ready, Marius follows them. The Fifilets take him to a small beach, which opens into a meadow. I instantly thought we were going to see something sparkly and shiny in the middle of the meadow, by the way. Every time I see the word meadow, I think that.
Right, of course. I feel like it's probably dark outside right now, though, so, safe from the sun.
Would moonlight do that, though?
I don't think so. For whatever reasons.
Even though it is still technically sunlight.
Yeah. Don't question it. Don't think too hard.
No, it's not logical. Anywho, Marius's mum's disappointed voice warns him that the dust has no effect on a rougarou, but salt does, and he needs to find and cut the string that binds them, as they are creatures made, not born. On the beach, Marius makes his salt circle, and the rougarou howls.
It doesn't take long for the monster to appear, and its attack is wicked fast. Thankfully, the salt circle keeps it at bay. The rougarou is 7 feet tall, a mash of an alligator, a wolf, and a man. Though you'd think it was a gorilla by its size. It's covered in dark fur except for its wolf face, which is white. Marius recites his spell to trap the monster in his book and closes his eyes, bracing for the feel of power. However, nothing happens, and the Rougarou isn't in front of him anymore. Now it's behind him, and it throws rocks and sand, breaking the salt circle. Marius becomes the Rougarou's toy as it batters him about, playing with him, though he is able to stab it with a knife, but that has, no effect on the monster at all. Suddenly, Rhea appears and latches on to the Rougarou with her giant mermaid double maw, and Amanda goes, "Eee!" The Rougarou doesn't like that. But duh. But it revitalizes Marius. She didn't leave him. Hooray. She just kind of got a little upset. But she followed him, so everything's fine. The Rougarou is able to rip Rhea off its back and throws her at Marius, who is trying to use Rhea's distraction to get to his book. As Rhea seems to lie, lifeless, in front of him, Marius follows his mom's disembodied voice and holds the raven skull amulet out at the Rougarou. Everything goes white.
Whatever happened to blind Marius also made his ears ring, which is, weird. When he comes back to his senses, he sees Rhea near him looking pale and maybe dying, and the Rougarou, who was also lying wounded but still alive. Knowing he can't help Rhea with the threat of the Rougarou 10 feet away, Marius heads to the beast. He sees his knife he was able to dig in behind its ear earlier and climbs onto the monster, pulling out the knife, revealing a golden glow coming from a thread. Marius cuts the thread and pulls the Rougarou, and it ravels into a pile of body parts. Marius looks around and finds his book under the now incapacitated Rougarou. Reciting the spell, the Rougarou is trapped in the book. Marius returns to Rhea, pushes her into the water, cuts her hair and lays it over her worst wounds. He puts her gills in the water and tries the spell to call recently departed souls back to their body. The spell doesn't work. So he takes his raven skull amulet, puts it on Rhea, and says the spell again. Once more, everything goes white.
When the white and the ringing in his ears fade again, Marius looks at Rhea. But she looks dead. As Marius howls and cries into the Louisiana bayou, he feels the cool kiss of Rhea on his forehead. She was dead, but she's better now. It's fine. Interestingly, all their wounds seem to be linked now in pain. It makes getting into the boat and back to Greystone Graveyard a little bit more difficult, but they manage.
Yeah. Instead of going home, Marius heads straight to Madame Millett's house, and again, Mildred is the one to open the door. Bloody Mildred, does she just live by the door?
She does. I think she does. I think she's a doorman.
She's a door irritant.
She is.
Seeing his condition somewhat stops her typical barrage of insults as she realises Marius faced the Rougarou and survived. Madame Millette comes running, ushers Marius into her office and calls for an ambulance. Marius refuses to go to the hospital until he's paid his bounty. Reluctantly, Madame Millette retrieves her scales and weighs Marius's monster book. He gets 400 mystic coins, way more than he needs. When the ambulance arrives, he gives in to their ministrations and happily accepts their pain medication. Hopefully, Rhea is getting the benefit too.
A day and a half passes before Marius returns to his graveyard. Rhea is at the dock, her shoulder is wrapped, but she's doing well and their wounds are still linked. She gives him back the raven skull amulet, saying he'll need it for what he's about to do, and besides, she liked the skulls on the rosary he gave her more. She likes skulls! Love her. Marius heads inside his family's mausoleum and prepares to cast his spell. With the mystic coins, raven skull, candles, stolen spell, brick dust, salt collected, he opens the tomb of Kelly Stone with a crowbar. The body is already gone, baked to ash, because this is Louisiana after all, and that's how things work there. Marius sets everything up and recites the spell 3 times. Angel's wing, demon's bait, take the lives of ones who wait. Crooked tails, lies so straight. Allow this soul through hell's cursed gate. Nothing happens.
Oh.
Damn it.
Dejected, Marius heads back to the dock to see Hugo and Rhea. He doesn't want to talk about his failure, but they have something to say to him, or, well, point out to him. There is a stranger in the graveyard, a man who looks rough and in pain. He asks if Marius is the monster hunter boy, and when Marius confirms, the man transforms into a huge Wendigo. Wow. And Rex, the crossroad demon, steps from behind him. Rex explains that Marius was missing one key ingredient to bring his mother back. A body.
Oh, whoops.
Unfortunately for Rex, Hell owes Marius a debt. They don't like to be in debt, so they pay up. The Wendigo reaches inside itself and pulls out a rib bone that Rex buries in the graveyard dirt. They've come to make a body for his mother.
Aww.
Just like that. Just pull a rib out, bury it in some graveyard dirt. What could go wrong?
For a few heartbeats, nothing happens. But then the ground begins to move and a woman climbs out. Marius's mom stands, looking around as if she's in a dream. Marius approaches and she tells him that hell doesn't let her dream and asks if this is real. She looks like Kelly Stone, smells like Kelly Stone, and hugs exactly like his mom did. As Rex and the Wendigo leave, the crossroad demon comments, "She's all yours, baby hunter. You get what you paid for."
Oh, that's not ominous at all.
No, not at all. Yikes.
Bloody crossroad demons.
Love it, though. I love it.
Oh, heck yeah. Kelly washes her hands and face in the bayou water, giving Marius the opportunity to introduce his mom to Rhea. Marius wasn't expecting his mom to thank Rhea and caress her cheek in a motherly way, though Rhea, as it happens, isn't Kelly's first mermaid. Kelly tells Marius he can relax now that she's back to look after him. He can give up monster hunting and just be a kid. Marius looks at his monster book, which has become an extension of himself. He could give up monster hunting. Does he really want to? There are so many people to help and so many mystic coins to collect. Gotta catch them all.
Marius is enveloped in the vice-like grip of Mama Roo. It's been over a week since she has seen him, though he's been picking up a considerable amount of food to go in that time. I wonder what he got.
Lots of shrimp. He loves the fried shrimp, and I want the fried shrimp.
So good. She heard the Rougarou rumors and has been worried about him. Kelly wants to keep her presence a secret for now as she adjusts to, being alive again and not dead in hell, which is fair.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
It's fine.
Back home at the Greystone graveyard, Kelly and Rhea are chatting at the dock, waiting for Marius to come back with their food. As Rhea enjoys her first cooked and spicy crab, whole by the way, Kelly orders Marius to put his coat in the laundry. It is, frankly, disgusting, covered in blood, guts, slime, dust and other nasty, nasty things, and possibly life forms. Probably life forms.
Probably yeah. 1 or 2 life forms.
What? You don't know what's in those pockets. Marius does as his mother asks, taking his more important items out of the pockets, including a new rosary for Rhea and his monster book. An envelope bookmarks a page. The envelope arrived in the mail 2 days after Kelly came back with only a few lines of information and the word Chupacabra. That word is now in his monster book, and that's a promise for a future adventure. Yes! Love it! Love it! Love it!
So good. It's so good.
Freaking love it.
So good. Okay, everyone enjoy this little snippet from another show, and we'll be back to talk about how much we love this book.
What's up, fellow book nerds? It's time to feed your fiction shelf addiction. Hear book club style roundtables, bookish chats, and more. Join Tamara and her friends for fantasy and thriller read-alongs and other shenanigans over on the Shelf Addiction podcast. Listen now on your podcatcher of choice. Subscribe for free, and you too can have a shelf addiction.
I don't know what I love most. I don't know. I love all of it. I think I was going to say I think I love Rhea the most, but then also there's a Boo Hag, and also the Rougarou fight, and also all of the illustrations at the back, which I talked about for entirely too long at the beginning of this episode. I love it so much.
Oh, I thought it was gonna. I thought the book sounded great. I've been wanting to listen to it, read it for ages, and obviously the perfect opportunity came up with Necromancer Month.
Right, of course.
But I was surprised so much more by it. It was not soft and light and fluffy. It went hard with the creepiness and the fear factor. It was pitched at such a good level. Like, I literally at one point was like, I don't know. I want my son to read this, but I don't know if he will be able to enjoy it if it's too creepy for him at the moment. Because he's only 10. I mean, obviously he does, because he's now taking after his mummy when it comes to creepy things, which is good. But it's so eerie and disquieting and nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
But in the best way possible.
Yes. Well, because Marius wins.
Yes.
He conquers all the monsters, and he does the right thing. I really respected Marius for paying for Mrs. Pine's soul.
Yes.
Even though obviously he didn't need much more mystic coin to pay for his mom to come back, because he had, he'd been collecting little bits here and there. And so then he gets 100 for the Rougarou. So, I mean, at least 150 or so we can imagine that he has. So he probably doesn't need much more, considering 400 for the Rougarou was way too much. Yeah. So just using basic math skills, he probably
had
was very, very
coin
close.
As well from his mum.
So it was really nice to see him do the right thing, even though he can't stand this woman. I mean, she teaches math, like, and she doesn't treat him very well, but he sees her making this deal, or trying to, with this crossroad demon, and he knows that that's not going to go well. So he stops her, and he pays her debt, which is huge.
Oh, massive. His heart is always in the right place.
Yes.
And
I'm really worried I'm going to sneeze.
That's a big thing. It's a really big thing. Yeah. No, and even bringing his mum back, he's it is partially a selfish thing. He wants his mom back. He doesn't want to be by himself. He's a kid though.
Yeah.
He's a 12-year-old kid. He's been on his own since he was 10.
Yeah.
I can understand him wanting his mom back.
I almost, for a little bit, thought that he was going to miss the opportunity to bring her back. But also, can we just skip ahead to my surprise? Because I really hope that something horribly horrible goes wrong with his mother being returned. I don't
completely.
I don't think it's right.
No, well, you already have Antoine's message to say, remember, if you're going to bring them back, they don't come back. the same. And everybody knows if you're going to come back from the dead, especially if you've resurrected after a couple of years, in a body created from the rib of a Wendigo, with the help of a crossroad demon, I'm sorry. Nah.
Yeah, it's not.
Nah. Sus.
It's not going to be
Completely
good.
sus.
It's not going to be good.
Completely
And
sus.
also, she didn't go to heaven. She went to hell. So even if it is really her who comes back, I mean, she's probably going to be messed up.
Oh, she needs therapy.
Yeah. But I really love... She's all yours, baby. Baby hunter, you get what you pay for. Like, yikes! No, this is not going to be good. And I purposefully have not looked at any details on book 2, but I'm really hoping that book 2 is like, oh yeah, actually, she's a terrifying demon pretending to be your mom. And horrible, horrible things are going to happen. That's what I'm hoping for.
I don't know if it's going to be that bad.
Why not?
I don't know.
He's proven he can handle it.
Because it's essentially killing his mom again.
Ugh.
I don't know. I have not
Maybe
looked at the
he doesn't have
second
to
one.
kill her.
Well, he needs an exorcism. I don't know. I don't know. It's. I am convinced that there's got to be something up with the mum. There's got to be.
Yeah.
I think once it becomes public knowledge that she's back, there's going to be warnings and worries from Madame Malay and Mama Roo.
Papa Harold's going to be like, nah, man. Nah, you're messing with something here,
I've
friend.
got a job
that you
for
should
you.
not.
And the name is Kelly Stone.
Yeah, the job is to kill your mother. To trap her inside your book.
If it turned out that Papa Harold wrote down in the Bounty book, in the Monster book, Kelly Stone, God, that would be good.
It would be. It would be really good.
Really
I question the whole thing with his mother to begin with. Like, is that his mom's disembodied voice, or is he just imagining that?
That was a question I was going to ask you, if you think it was her voice or not. I suspect not. I'm leaning towards no. I think it's self-preservation mechanism that Marius has to combat the loneliness and the fact of the feelings of abandonment by his parents.
Yeah.
It's just, again, comes back. He's a kid. He's a little kid.
Yeah.
Looking after himself. Which, to be honest, if we're going to jump ahead a little bit to the surprises, is my surprise that a 12-year-old lives in a graveyard unchecked by social services and everybody's like, that's fine.
Yeah, but consider where he lives.
Yeah. But then I also think social services giving social services a side eye.
I mean, all of this.
Yeah.
Let's not get
It's
on
a
that
book, Claire, it's
soapbox
not real.
again.
No. It's a work of fiction. Is it?
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. I've got a feeling, as I was reading it, I had a feeling that wasn't his mum's voice. Actually, you know what? It could have been. That's
what
and
I'm
if
thinking.
he starts hearing her voice again, he's going to question who this Kelly Stone physical person is.
Yeah, that is what I was just thinking. Like, maybe that was her voice
and
the whole
the
time.
name goes in his book.
Yeah, maybe it was her real self, and this is something else.
Yeah, and then the name goes in the book, and he's like, "No, I don't."
I mean, I don't think it would be her actual name. I don't think it would be Kelly Stone. I think it would be whatever type of creature she is.
It's in quotation marks. Kelly Stone.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't trust it, though. But now I'm starting to think that maybe the voice he was hearing actually is his mom's voice. And she's gone. She's gone for good. And this is some ploy of the Crossroads Demon to, bring creatures up from the depths of hell in human form.
It's linked to his dad who disappeared. Because his dad
who's his dad?
Disappeared and is unfindable.
Yeah, who's his dad? What's going on with that?
I need to know more. It's too many questions.
I know. It's a good thing the second book's already out. You can go and read it
I am
right
so
now.
close to Googling the synopsis. I'm going to go and just, okay,
Don't!
bye.
Don't! You're going to ruin our discussion. And then I'm sure if M.R. Fournet is listening to this episode, she's probably going, oh my God, you stupid, stupid girls. What are you thinking? You're wrong. And she's just cackling whilst drawing horrible things.
Oh, she's listening, going, oh, you guys are so stupid. Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me...
Note for future.
Making notes.
No, I'm excited to read it. I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I point out how many cryptids were in this? And
Yes.
we both know how much. You love a monster, I love a cryptid. They're basically the same thing.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Freaking loved it.
Claire, I'm
When
so
the
sad.
Candy Lady is 100% you.
Yes. Definitely. But then the fact that she's actually a boo hag, yes. I'm so upset, though. I'm so upset because for years and years and years, I've had these books and I cannot find the right one. So let me get back here and show you the one book that I do have. And it's not the right one, and I'm very upset by it. Or it might actually be, and maybe I just need to go and read every single story again.
Potentially.
Yeah. But maybe I just need to look through. So, I've had these books for so long.
Oh.
Ozark Ghost Stories, okay?
Oh.
And I also have another one that is Civil War Ghosts, and it's also the same sort of thing. And I can't remember if it's in this book or if there's another one that I used to have that I'm missing. But I remember reading it, God, when I was in like the 7th grade or something, and being like, oh, it's a boo hag! And just loving every single thing about it. But I don't know if she's in this one or not. And so now I need to reread it. But so good. It's like, scary stories to tell in the dark sort of thing.
Oh.
And I love it. There's like
Any book of cryptids.
Yeah. There's like 65 stories in this book, and they're all so good.
I did actually get a new monster book for Christmas that I haven't had a chance to read yet. It's like one of these illustrated ones. I forgot my United States cryptids book.
Yes.
I can't remember if there was a boo hag in here. Oh, I love the Snallygaster.
It's a lot of editing out we're going to have to do right here because we're both just looking at books and drooling a little bit.
Is a boo hag technically classed as a witch?
No, I think she's a type of vampire.
Oh, I've got a vampire book as well.
Well, yeah, no, I've got this other one that I need to look at. I don't know if she's going to be in here either. The Encyclopedia of Spirits, everyone.
Ooh.
It's really, really, really cool. Really, really, really big book.
I do enjoy the fact that we can alright, so you want to learn about these things. Okay, let's just pull a book from our shelves.
Yes, let me just... Oh no, I don't think I have a boo hag.
Secrets of Vampire. Yeah. So the Secrets of Vampire book has obviously Dracula on TV. And then, look at that.
Yeah.
You do a much better job.
Thank you. Oh, so many good things. Stop looking at books. We have a podcast to record. Do we need
Please
to...
excuse us whilst we look at books.
I know. I feel like we need to just have like a live sort of thing one day where we all just sit together and look quietly at books. And then go, oh my God, look at this! And then look at this story. It would be amazing. If anyone is up for that, please let us know in the Discord chat.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, there would be.
I know. This is just a test, though, to see if anyone's actually listening to the episodes.
Where am I typing? You know, you just randomly type it and you're like, well, where is this? Oh, there it is. Looking at MacGuffin. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. Mermaids! Let's talk mermaids
Let's
for a
talk
second.
mermaids. Let's talk about Rhiannon and how she is my favorite character. Because she's a real
She's
mermaid.
also mine.
Yeah.
Because she has a double maw.
Yeah, she's a real mermaid.
She's a real mermaid, not a Disney-fied mermaid. She's not just going to steal your voice, she's going to steal your entire person, and she's going to eat you.
She's going to eat it. And then she's going to pluck one of her own bones out of her wrist to clean her teeth with.
Yes. She is the Swiss Army Mermaid of our dreams.
She definitely is. She's definitely a Swiss Army Mermaid.
Love her.
Me too.
I love how she's a friend as well. She's a genuine friend. Marius feeds her fish, but he doesn't need to. She's very capable of looking after herself.
Yeah. She's very good.
I suspect linking our theories about his mom not being right, something's going to happen between Kelly and Rhiannon, and Rhiannon's not going to trust her.
Yeah.
And Marius is going to reject it, so it's going to put their friendship into a bit of turmoil.
Yep, I can see that happening 100%. What I really hope does not happen in book 2, which it probably is, and I probably just need to get ready for it, I can see Marius and Mildred forming some sort of, if not friendship, like a reluctant alliance. And
They need to have a truce. They need to call a truce. They're aggravating each other too much, and it's going to lead to bad things.
I feel like they're going to be friends by the end of book 2.
And I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, but I'd rather Marius's best friend be a mermaid than a bully.
Oh, yeah. No. She is the found family. Mildred is the friend.
Yeah. I love all of his found family, though. All of these people that are taking care of him. You know, Mama Rue and Papa Harold, and I mean, even his teacher, Madame Millette, can get in there too. But like, I feel like he's got a nice family, and then in my made-up version of book 2, he's gonna realize that his mother is actually gone, and he's, you know, being tortured by a crossroad demon. And he's going to realize that he's had his family that he needs all along.
Yeah. I think I get the impression though Papa Harold is a bit more self-serving.
Yeah, and he's going to be
Papa
like,
Harold
and
will
here
do
is
what Papa Harold needs to be done.
He's going to do he's still helping, but he's going to be like, and here is the creature that your mother is, and you are going to collect her.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I wouldn't be surprised if Papa Harold's on the pier from the Crossroad Demon.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because you got to remember that this is a middle grade book. So I think you're making it a little too complex. Whereas I, in all of the weird random things that I just said, I'm not making it too complex.
I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know.
We need to read it. We need to read it and then laugh at how wrong we are.
Legends.
Yes. Do we need to put this on the schedule?
Yeah, we'll just read Be Legends.
Yeah, I think we need to put it on the schedule for, next month, maybe the month after, just shove it in, regardless of the theme, because clearly we need to know what happens in book 2, and hopefully all of our listeners are also curious about what happens in book 2. So pretty sure it needs to be shoved into the schedule.
We've got Demon Month coming up.
Do we? When is that?
We have a Demon Month.
But when is that?
I mean, you're asking the hard questions.
I know. It's not like we can't just look it up in 30 different places.
My Little Demon is April. Oh, so that's next month.
Oh,
Read a
perfect.
book with a demon or demonic forces. Bonus points if it's Astaroth.
It's perfect timing.
I have just checked as well, and it's available in hardback, and I have the paperback, so I won't be able. I'm not. My brain will not let me purchase the hardback. So
Because it doesn't match.
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we have to read it.
Oh yeah. Well, if we will read it, if we don't do it next month, we'll definitely do it.
But it is a perfect fit for next month. Because I'm sure will be at least one Crossroad Demon mentioned.
How many Crossroad Demons? We have 6.
I think it's perfect. I think we should do it.
Let's check to see if we can get it first, she says, going on to the library.
Uh-huh.
It's not on Hoopla.
This episode is going to be really horrible, by the way, because it's just us looking at things and not actually recording anything.
The audiobook is not on Libby. Just the ebook.
I might be able to have some powers. We'll see what happens. But anyway, we really need to get back to recording this episode and stop looking at things.
Does the audiobook actually exist, though?
I don't know. I feel like you're just ignoring me when I say we need to stop looking at things and get back to recording our episode.
Right,
100%
okay.
ignoring me. We'll
Right,
go back.
I'm back.
We'll look
I'm
at,
here.
we'll
I'm
look
here.
it all
I'm
up.
here.
It's fine.
I'm here. Anywho, in conclusion to that discussion, the book has a lot of heart. You want Marius to succeed all the way along, but you don't trust the ending.
Yes, exactly.
There we go.
That was great. Should we
Shall
move
we go
on?
to the quotes?
Yeah, I think we should, because I'm pretty sure we lost every thread that we were following, and we unraveled a Rougarou.
The Rougarou pieces are lying everywhere.
Yes. Okay, what is your favorite final thought quote? How many do you have? Is it the entire book?
At least 7.
Okay, go for it. I don't
Pretty
have
much
that
all
many.
the book.
Go for it.
Thank me when you do know how. Otherwise, it's just wasted time trying. I'm like, yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
They need to talk about it. Discussing it would be the healthy way to process such a traumatic event. Neither said a word.
No, we don't do that.
No, we don't talk. Come on, you dog ugly sack of puke! Come get me! Marius screamed. Smiles were great tools for disarming the nosy.
Mm.
A mermaid's version of eating was fairly traumatizing to watch.
Yes.
Which I'm glad to see.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing better than fried dough when you're hungry on a beautiful day.
Mm.
And lastly, there was nothing like a good, heavy book to make one feel safer.
Ugh.
Give me yours, give me yours, give me yours.
Okay, I only have 3, and they're mostly about mermaids and or teeth. Real mermaids were not like the ones in Disney movies. They did not swim around singing with fish and saving drowning people. More often than not, mermaids were the reasons ships sank and men got devoured. Perfect.
Role models.
Yes. Her bottom lip lowered, opening a mouth all the way down to her chest. A nest of needle-sharp teeth lined the upper and lower jaws. A serpent-like tongue whipped out, wrapped around the fish, and pulled it into the cage of teeth. Cage of teeth!
It's supposed to be quoting from the book, not describing.
Not describing
Last
my
time
hopes
you
and
went
dreams.
out. Cajun.
Right you are. Rougarous are quite a task. All those teeth. Even the best are wary of those. They're wary of teeth. I know that they're actually wary of Rougarous, but I prefer that they're wary of teeth.
I love how your obsession with teeth is just growing and growing and growing. We could probably recalculate it all the way through the podcast.
Teeth. We probably could. It'd be amazing.
Timeline, the teeth obsession.
Yes. That would require us going back and listening to our episodes, though, and I don't really want to do that.
Oh, hell no. Somebody else could do that,
Someone
please.
help me. Someone help me track my love of teeth.
I can take a wild stab at the books that would cause it, though, so...
Yeah. Anyway, it's time.
It's time.
Pew, 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 pew.
We asked, would you rather have monsters under your bed or monsters in your closet? Resoundingly, on Facebook with 85% and on Instagram with 83%, you chose a monster in your closet.
That's fine.
We have comments.
We do.
Coral on Facebook said, well, the closet can be locked, so lock that monster away and get in bed and forget about it till the monster hunter can get there.
Katrina on Facebook says exactly what Coral said. Lock the closet door or barricade it shut so the monster can't get out. Definitely don't want to be sleeping above one.
Emily on Facebook said, I would want a monster in my closet because I wouldn't be able to sleep knowing that there's a creature under my bed.
Candace on Facebook says, probably my closet. Then I could just close the door.
Headzilla on Instagram said, out of those options, it's got to be under the bed. If there's a monster under your bed, all you have to do is make sure you're completely covered by the blankets and it can't get you. If it's heading out of your closet on a face-numbing trip, then yes, the blanket technique will protect you, but there's still a chance you'll see it when it comes shambling across the floor at you, giving you a spookening. Stay under the bed, please, monster. I'm sure you'll love your monster, but I don't want to experience your 2,000 eyeballs or your big gnashy teeth.
Finally, Brie Tart on Instagram says closet. Keep a door between me and the supernatural roommate, thank you.
It's easy. This one is a no-brainer. It's a monster under your bed. You don't want a monster in your closet. You want a monster under your bed. Because as long as you don't have any part of your body sticking out of the bed, you are 100% safe. If it's a closet, then even if it's locked, you'll hear the of the unlock, and then you hear the of it opening. So even if your closet doesn't have a lock or it's creaky and all, it's creaky, that's still going to happen. And then you'll see the fingers coming out from the door.
Yeah.
And then it'll slowly slither and slide or creak and crawl or skitter along the ground. And you're screwed. You can't lock it in, you can't barricade. But the law of monsters, if it's under your bed, as long as nothing sticks out from the bed, you're golden.
Right, and who doesn't want to just stay in bed all day?
Exactly. But when the sun comes up, the monster's gone. Them's the rules. It's the rules of monsters.
So, yes, I agree with everything that you've said, 100%. But I am also choosing monster under the bed, but for a different reason.
That's because you want to have, a romance with the monster under the bed.
No, that's not it. It's because that's where all of my cosplay stuff is stored. And so I want the monster to just have a good time hanging out and opening all of my containers and putting on random bits of costume.
Oh, it'll just come out with a fabulous wig on.
Yes. And then we have a fashion show because that's where all of my cosplay stuff is. Not in my closet. Although I do have some cosplay stuff in my closet because I have cosplay stuff everywhere in my house. But that's what I want. I want the monster to put on random bits of every costume that I have.
And then you're making friends with the monster. It's fine.
Right. I mean, I've got everything the monster will need under there. I've got shoes, I've got wigs, I've got hats. I've got several articles of clothing to choose from. Many accessories, lots of sunglasses, lots of feather boas. So many good things
it's gonna look fabulous,
there.
Darling.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I also think you can only ever have one monster in the house. There's territory.
Right.
So the only answer is you be the monster.
Oh, I'm also fine with that. Yeah. I will let the monster under the bed play with all the costumes, and I'll be like, okay, so you stay here and you play dress up, and I'm going to go take over your duties as monster.
I'm going to go and pluck the teeth from children.
Yeah. and then suck out souls.
Have fun. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And because, technically you're human, you can't probably be sucked into the book.
Technically?
Yeah.
Technically.
You gotta go for the technicalities.
Mm-hmm.
The loopholes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next question. Would you rather fight the boogeyman, or a boo hag, or a rougarou?
Now this is fight, not
or
make
flip
friends
it on
with.
its head. Would you rather... That's what I was about to say. Flip it on its head. Be besties with boogeyman, boo hag, or rougarou.
The boogeyman had some style and panache, with the coat and the hat and
Oh my gosh.
everything.
I got King of Crows vibes.
Oh, heck yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. But then looking at the illustrations in the back of the book, I also got, what's his name? Why did I just go blank? The guy, and it's a movie, and it's a picture book, and he pops up, and he's got the hat, and there's the child in the backseat of the car screaming. And you just want to shake him? What is it? And also, he's the gay icon.
Look at there's his picture.
Yes, but what's the name of the thing I'm thinking of?
Nah, I'm drawing a blank.
You're going to be upset with yourself. The Babadook. Sorry that I just went so blank on that, but Googling gay icon horror immediately gets you the answer that you need.
I need to Google that.
It's the Babadook. And I would also be friends with the Babadook.
That's amazing.
If we're thinking about fighting them, though, I probably would fight the rougarou because I like the boo hag and the boogeyman too much. I would rather have a vampire than a werewolf. And, sometimes rougarous are werewolves. They're sometimes considered werewolves, so.
Maybe the rougarou just needs a good scritch.
Maybe
If you find the sweet spot of the rougarou, just give it a good scritch. Mm-hmm. It'll calm down. It'll be like, oh, thank God, at last.
Thank you, finally.
And if you call it a good doggo, you're a good boy. You're like, oh my God, I am. Oh, thank you. So, yeah, let's fight the rougarou, but let's be nice to the rougarou, and then make it our pet.
Sure.
And then we'll use it for evil purposes.
Yeah, of course. It's perfectly
we'll use
reasonable.
it to help terrorize and steal people's teeth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great plan.
Cool. Would you rather inherit a book of monsters or a raven skull necklace or an enchanted coat?
I'm probably going to go enchanted coat. I like the enchanted coat. Again, bringing us back to King of Crows. I like his enchanted coat. So I think I'm going to go enchanted coat. The Book of Monsters would be good, but can I unleash them, or are they in there for, they're in there and they can't come back out. So, and I already have a raven skull necklace, so I'm taking a coat.
Well, I'm not a jewellery person, so the necklace is out.
Sure.
And I am stuck between the coat and the book.
Mm-hmm.
Because who doesn't want a book?
Right.
But I'm going to take the enchanted coat and I'm going to check all the pockets because I might find a book in there. And how useful is I'm a girl. I love pockets.
We love pockets. And we don't have them on our pants, so give us a coat full of pockets.
I have one pocket on my entire person.
I'm wearing a hoodie. I have pockets on my hoodie, and I'm also wearing pants that have pockets currently, but they're not very good pockets.
I'm wearing pajama bottoms. I don't have them.
If
I was wearing boy pajama bottoms, they would have pockets.
I'm wearing sweatpants. They
I've
have
got
pockets.
things to put in pockets as well, you people.
Yeah, come on.
Bloody fashion
Okay.
industry.
Next question. Would you rather have Madame Boudreaux's gumbo or Mama Rue's fried shrimp?
How do I work this so I can have both?
I mean, I don't think you'd have to work too hard. Just go to both places.
Yeah, it's true. I'm going to go with Mama Rue's fried shrimp. If I can only have one.
Yeah.
Because I want to be best friends with Mama Rue so I can eat in the kitchen every day. And then
Sure.
I think Mama Roo is a much nicer person, obviously, than Madame Boudreaux. She seems like a bit of a character.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go Mama Roo's fried shrimp.
I like gumbo better than I like fried shrimp. And if I'm eating the gumbo, then chances are I'll probably get some of the jambalaya too. So I'm gonna go gumbo. You can't go wrong with gumbo. There's so many things in it, and it's so good. I want gumbo. I want to eat gumbo right now. So I'm gonna choose gumbo.
I've had a really big dinner today. I'm technically full, but I'm hungry. Anywho,
yeah.
Would you rather get caught stealing holy water from the St. Louis Cathedral or virgin water from a fringe priestess's private store? I'm going to go holy water from the St. Louis Cathedral because I don't think there's going to be that much of a penalty, whereas I think a fringe priestess could lay a serious smackdown.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go, though, for the virgin water from the fringe priestess because there's probably other stuff in there that you could use, or it might inspire you to do other things in the future. And I'm pretty sure that if I went into a cathedral, I would erupt in flames.
Oh, well.
So
yeah,
I gotta go with the priestess.
I'm hoping to find some gargoyles in the cathedral.
A gargoyle or a grotesque?
Grotesque, preferably, if we're going to be technically correct. Because, gosh darn.
I taught that to a group of middle schoolers the other day, and they were like, what? Yeah, you need to know the difference. It was amazing. Okay, if you liked this, try this. Should we finish up this episode?
Yeah, why the heck
so
not?
We can get out all of our other books that we want to look at.
So, yeah, well, I'm about to go downstairs looking at my monster book. Okay, so I'm going to recommend. Actually, this is not me recommending. So I've mentioned a couple of times. Loved Brick, Dust and Bones. Bought it. Gave it to the child. The child read it at night. He's on his third read through, and I said, if you like this, what would you recommend? He did recommend Mallory Skull, which I've already recommended before. But second choice, which he says is equal weighting, is The Big Woof Conspiracy, which is part of the Sticky Pines series, and there's 4 books in the series. He's read the whole series and would recommend the full series as well. It's a middle grade book, and it's lots and lots of cryptids. So this is technically his recommendation. Love the author photograph with the corgi. And it's by Dashi Roberts. So the summary is, when 12-year-old UFO-obsessed Lucy Sladden sneaks out in the middle of a thunderstorm to investigate the unexplained disappearances in her hometown of Sticky Pines, she finds more than she bargained for: a huge hairy creature, a 13-year-old stranger named Milo Fisher, and a deep-rooted secret. Together, Lucy and Milo become entwined in a mystery that threatens to engulf the whole town of Sticky Pines and its weird and wonderful residents.
Sounds amazing.
And there's sea monsters. The next one's the Thing at Black Hole Lake, and there's massive sea monsters in it. And yeah, he absolutely devoured these to the point where he got upset that he only had the first 2 and I had to order the other 2.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so that's the recommendation. The Big Woof Conspiracy.
Okay.
What have you got?
I am going to recommend Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. This is also a series, and I feel like they get progressively creepier as you go on. But the summary of Small Spaces, Catherine Arden, is: after suffering a tragic loss, 11-year-old Ollie only finds solace in books. # tenuous link. Not tenuous at all. So, when she happens upon a crazed woman at the river threatening to throw a book into the water, Ollie doesn't think. She just acts, stealing the book and running away. As she begins to read the slender volume, Ollie discovers a chilling story about a girl named Beth, the two brothers who both loved her, and a peculiar deal made with the Smiling Man, a sinister specter who grants your most tightly held wish, but only for the ultimate price. Ollie is captivated by the tale until her school trip the next day to Smoke Hollow, a local farm with a haunting history all its own. There she stumbles upon the graves of the very people she's been reading about. Could it be the story about the Smiling Man is true? Ollie doesn't have too long to think about the answer to that. On the way home, the school bus breaks down, sending their teacher back to the farm for help. But the strange bus driver has some advice for the kids left behind in his care. Best get moving. At nightfall, they'll come for the rest of you. Nightfall is indeed fast descending when Ollie's previously broken digital wristwatch, a keepsake reminder of better times, begins a startling countdown and delivers a terrifying message. Run! Only Ollie and two of her classmates heed the bus driver's warning. As the trio head out into the woods, bordered by a field of scarecrows that seem to be watching them, the bus driver has just one final piece of advice for Ollie and her friends. Avoid large places. Keep to small. And with that, a deliciously creepy and hair-raising adventure begins. Right? It's amazing.
Well,
and it's middle grade. So I feel like we need to have middle grade horror month. Even though we do it all the time anyway.
Well, that's true, but it's nice to have something specifically devoted. So while I, 2026, put that into our plan,
yes,
please give us a new and indie spotlight.
All right. This one I've been looking forward to for a really long time. This one came to us from Libro FM. It's called They Bloom at Night by Trang Than Tran, and as of episode release, has just come out yesterday. Since the hurricane, the town of Mercy, Louisiana, has been overtaken by a strange red algae bloom. Noon and her mother have carved out a life in the wreckage, trawling for the mutated wildlife that lurks in the water and trading it to the corrupt harbor master. When she's focused on survival, Noon doesn't have to cope with what happened to her at the cove or the monster itching at her skin. Mercy has never been a safe place, but it's getting worse. People are disappearing, and the only clues as to why are whispers of underwater shadows and warnings to never answer knocks at night. When the harbor master demands she capture the creature that's been drowning residents, Noon finds a reluctant ally in his daughter, Covey. As the next storm approaches, the two set off to find what's haunting Mercy. After all, Noon is no stranger to monsters.
Ooh.
Sounds really good. I've been seeing stuff about that one. I don't know how long I've been seeing previews of that book come up. And I'm excited about it. Anyway.
Nice. We've got 7 themes for next year already, by the way. We're only in March.
That's amazing. That I'm not surprised. When you said earlier 2026, I was gonna question, are we still in 2026? We are. We still have a few more months.
We haven't got to 2026 yet.
I know, but I feel like we have enough themes already to cover 2026 and beyond.
Well, then we'll just end up starting on 2027, or we'll end up being like, let's have double themes. Choose this or choose this.
Yeah.
Follow a theme path.
Yes, I like it. And we create a big treasure map that our listeners have to follow. I think that sounds like a really good plan.
That's going to take the rest of the year to actually plan.
Yeah. That's fine.
Right, well, best get started, so let's wrap this up.
It's fine, yeah. Okay, that's it for this episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss how to steal a galaxy Book 2 in the Chaotic Orbits trilogy by Beth Revis. Look out for our Would You Rather polls and monthly challenges on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com and follow us on all social media at Fictional Hangover. If you like this episode, check out our others and be sure to rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for listening.